Today, we're going to focus on spelling and writing words with previously taught spelling patterns. We are also going to read words spelled with the KN, NN, and N sound as N. So today we're going to work with the N sound. Say the N sound with me a few times. Repeat after me. N, N, N. Great job. Is N a vowel sound or a consonant sound? N. Very good. N is a consonant sound. What is the basic code spelling for N? How would we spell N? What letter would we use? Great. We would use the letter N to spell the N sound. Read the sample word with me. Nut, nut. Look at the power bar here for the N sound. Is this a common spelling for the N sound? Oh yes, it definitely is. That is a big power bar, so we are going to see N say the N sound most of the time. We can look at words like nut and scent, scent for the N sound. Now I would like you to turn to worksheet page 10.2 and take out a red crayon, marker, or colored pencil. I want you to outline the N spelling with your red marker, crayon, or colored pencil to show that it is a spelling that you have learned for a consonant sound, just like you see here. Outline the N card in red. If you don't have this page, don't worry about it. It's safe and sound at school. Remember, the N makes the N sound, like we hear in the word nut and scent. Thinking about the words nut and scent that both have the N sound, what's another spelling for N that we have already learned? How else can we spell N? Very good. You can spell N with an NN. Like in the words dinner, you see the double N there, and running, you see the double N there. Still says the N sound. Look at the power bar. Ooh, is that a common spelling for the N sound? You going to see that often? No, you're not going to see the NN say N very often. Now I want you to outline the NN in red to show that it is another spelling that we have learned for this consonant sound. So we know that N says N, like in the words nut and scent, and NN says N, like in the words dinner and running. There's another way to make the N sound. We can make the N sound with the letters KN. KN says N. Look at this sample word down here. I know that this part of the word says N, and this part of the word says ok. If we put that word together, this sample word is very good, knock. Look at the power bar here. This short power bar means that it is not the most common spelling that we're going to see for the N sound. So let's look at our spelling tree. This is our N spelling tree. The letters that say N are N, NN, and KN. All of those make the N sound. So we're going to use this spelling tree to help keep track of the spellings for the N sound. I'm going to give you a chance to read the word first, then decide where it should go on the branch. We'll do a couple of them together. Let's do this one together. This word is nut. We see the N here at the beginning of the word. Where does nut belong on the spelling tree? Great job. Nut belongs on the N branch. So let's move it over there. Let's do this one together. Dinner. It has a double N. Which branch does dinner belong on? Very good. It belongs on the NN branch. So let's move it there. Good job. Now you try the next ones on your own. Remember, I'm giving you time to read the word first. Which branch does scent belong on? Great job. Which branch does not belong on? Great job. Which branch does knit belong on? Great job. Which branch does running belong on? Great job. Which branch does knock belong on? Good job. Which branch does nice belong on? Good job. Which branch does kneel belong on? Great job. Which branch does fanning belong on? Great job. That has the double N there in the middle, so it's going to go on the NN branch. Which branch does knack belong on? Good job. Which branch does knife belong on? Good job. Which branch does note belong on? Good job. Last one. Read the word. Which branch does knee belong on? Awesome work today practicing the N sound. Remember, the letters that make the N sound are N, like in nut, scent, nice, and note. N says N, like in the words fanning, running, and dinner. And KN says N, like in the words not, knit, knock, kneel, knee, knife, and knack. Keep practicing those N words and sounds. Now let's go to our reader and introduce our story. Today's story is called The Band. It's about how practice makes perfect, especially when it comes to playing in a band. Have you ever heard a band before? Now let's look at some words that you're going to see when you're reading your story today. First, we have KN that says N, like in the word knocking. Notice the KN is right there at the beginning. We're going to see the C that says S, like in Grace, Spencer, and Concert. You'll see the CE make the S sound, like in Vance and Sense. Notice that the CE is at the end of both of those words. You're also going to see the SE make the S sound, like in moose, geese, and house. Where do you notice the SE in all of those words? Great job! It's at the end of those words. Now you're going to see some other two-syllable words in your story. Remember, we do not have the dot separating our syllables, so your brain is just going to have to remember that it is a two-syllable word and break it apart. You'll see words like trumpet, trombone, mister, master, and racket. Now let's look at our vocabulary that we're going to see in our story. We have to know what these words mean. Our first word is trumpet. Say the word after me, trumpet. A trumpet is a brass musical instrument with 3 buttons. This is a trumpet. Do you see the 3 buttons here on a trumpet? The next word is trombone. This is a trombone. A trombone is a brass musical instrument with a slide. This is a slide. It's how you play this instrument. The next word is racket. A racket is a loud, unpleasant noise. The next word is concert. A concert is a show or a performance. The next word is, this is actually a phrase, like a sick moose. Say that, like a sick moose. Now, a moose is a large mammal that might make loud moaning noises when it's sick. We have another phrase here, like a flock of geese. Geese are birds that make honking noises. A flock of them would be just a group. Our last phrase here is knocking it out of the park. I'm sure you guys have heard me say that before. That means to do an awesome job. I want you to read today's story to find out how Grace and her sister first sounded when they started playing musical instruments. What could you imagine that they sounded like the first time they ever picked up an instrument? Pause the video so you can read the story. When you finish reading the story, I want you to press play, and I'm going to show you how to complete worksheet 10.3. Remember, you have to look back in your story to find the answers and make sure you're answering your questions in complete sentences. Now that you're finished reading, I want you to turn to page 10.3 in your workbook. 10.3. That's on pages 49 and 50. You'll see those numbers down there at the bottom. Your story was called The Band, so you're completing the comprehension questions on the band. Let's look at these 4 questions. Number 1, it says, what did Grace and Jill sound like at the start? What did they sound like when they started playing those instruments? You could start your sentence off by saying, Grace and Jill sounded like blank, blank, blank at the start. Remember, when you go back in your story to look for your answer, make sure you find what page number the answer is on and write it there on your page. Number 2, let's look at number 2. It says, how did Mr. Spencer act when the children started out? You could say, Mr. Spencer acted, you're going to make that past tense. Mr. Spencer acted blank, blank, blank when the children started out. Remember to prove where you found your answer. For number 3, who is Mr. Vance? You could start your sentence by saying, Mr. Vance is blank, blank, blank. Go back in your story to find your answer and remember to put the page number where you found it. And number 4, it says describe the band concert. You have to use your own words to describe what the band concert was like. Make sure you use lots of adjectives to describe what you saw and what you read. Make sure that you put your page number where you found your answer. Pause the video so that you can complete this work. Now I want you to turn to page 10.4, workbook page 10.4 in your book. That's on page 51 down there at the bottom. Here you're going to practice the spellings that we have learned for the S sound with a family member. Let's go over each one of these words. Sit, grass, dress, snake, hips, cell, sun, center, scent, and kiss. If the word has the S sound spelled with an S, I want you to write the word here. If the word has the S sound spelled with an SS, I want you to write the word here. If the word has the S sound spelled with a C, then write the word here. Make sure you're only using lowercase letters. All of these words are common nouns.